guys, this is Killer Dave here, and welcome back to another episode on the Diamond Society server. This is episode 2, and I am super excited to be recording right now. Now, if you look behind me, you can see I have done a little bit of work since the last clip, and we'll just go down there really quick before I explain what my plans are for this episode. But if you look over here, I'm not sure if I had the beetroot in the last episode, but what I've done is, I've put stairs here, but I've done a little bit of strip mining, but I ran into abandoned mine shaft, and in that I got beetroot seeds, so I don't think I had beetroots in the last one. So now we have beetroots. I've been doing a little bit of farming, expanded the carrots and the potatoes. Also started up this little cactus farm. Now, I had some cactus in here, but it looks like someone might have taken it. Now, I mean, it is pretty slow. Its rates are pretty slow, but like, I can't foresee myself needing a bunch of cactus anytime soon. So if anyone borrowed it, who cares? All good. But yeah, I've also done this little stairs just so I can get up and down easier. And then, as you can see from this chest, I almost have a stack and a half of diamonds from all the strip mining. So it's starting to look really good in the supply area, looking quite good. But as you can see, my chests are an absolute mess. Now, the other thing I've done is I've got a full set of tools. So you can see I got a silk touch pick, got just an efficiency pick, I've got my fortune pick, I got a pretty nice bow, I got a good shovel, a good axe, a good helmet. You know, I've got some pretty good stuff. I think I got feather falling on my boots. These were actually dropped, as you can see, they're almost broken. These were dropped off of a skeleton, and I had no idea they could do that. I don't know if somehow someone died in the skelly spawner and that came out, but protection 3, feather falling 4, unbreaking 3 off a skeleton was awesome. So I got those, didn't even have to enchant any. I might have to repair them soon. But as you can see, it's getting a little cramped in these chests, and I'm sort of like outliving my tiny little space here. So I think that's what we're going to do in this episode, guys, is start to get a little base going. So we are in the factorium area. So it's not really a base area, but I'm thinking, at least for right now, I'm going to put my initial base thing here, but it's not going to look like a normal house or anything. So what I'm going to do first, guys, is I'm just going to take this down, I think 2 levels, so it's on this level, just so it's a little bit bigger of a plateau, and then I'll bring you guys back and we can talk about what the plan. Okay, guys, so I have cleared out this little area down here, and as you can see, I'll bring these down a notch in just a little bit, but for right now, as you can see, it's a much larger, let me grab this. It's a much larger, you know, kind of flatter area, and I think it's a good height relative to down here. I don't want it to be too high up, because I'm not sure exactly what level I'm gonna build like the main thing out. I might end up taking that down and flattening it, but you know, around these 2 levels, like that one or this one, is probably what it's gonna be at. So I think this is a good height relative to that. But guys, for the build, this is what it's gonna be. I'm gonna make my little base in a water tower. Okay, so I've got some red hardened clay. Now I got this by using red dye from the beetroot. First time I've ever used beetroot. You know, it's sort of a new item, I guess. Haven't really used it otherwise, but I used it. Got some red dye, stained up all the clay I've been getting, because you know, there is some red clay around here, but like, I'll just leave it. And you know, I don't really want to go like knocking out a whole section of it just for this. So I just decided to dye some of it up, and I'm going to use dark oak planks for like the supports, and it's going to go up, and then there'll be a water tower, and I'll put my base inside the water tower. And I think it's going to look really cool, and it's like I think it'll be a good fit for, you know, the factorium area, because it's not a base, but it looks like it's something that could be there, because there'll be a water tower next to the big factory. So I think that will be a good idea. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to get working on it, you know, start throwing down a little bit of a design, see how it's coming together, and then I'll bring you guys back for a little progress update. So I'm just going to do that really quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we are back, and this is sort of like the little base I was thinking about. So it's gonna be, I'll scoot back a little bit. You know, it just kind of comes up, and there's just gonna be a nice water tower. Now I'm thinking a round water tower, you know, with like a little roof on it, something like that. But for right now, I just did the squares just so I can get a good feel of the height. And I think this is a pretty good height. I'm not sure if there's a better way to do these slopes rather than like having this big junction right here. But it doesn't look too bad, and I think it looks pretty good. Let's run like over here really quick. See what it looks like from further away. But I generally I'm liking the way that's coming out. I'm liking the shapes. So if I just hop up here, yeah, I think that'll be good. It'll be a nice big water tower, and like right now it looks pretty big. Like I think it looks maybe a little too big, but I think, you know, once it gets put up next to the big factory that's gonna go right there, I think it'll fit in quite nicely. So I think that looks pretty good. I have some ideas for some, you know, some nice little touches of detail that'll just make it look a little bit better. So I'm gonna continue doing that. I'm gonna add on to this, build it up a little bit, try and get a good size going, and then after a little bit, I'll bring you guys back. Okay, I started planning the circle out, and I have noticed that these are one off, because if you look, it is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 by 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So it's one off, it's one longer than it is wide. So I think what I'm gonna do to fix that is I'm just gonna move these, because for right now, I mean, it's pretty early on. Oh, it's pretty early on in the build, so I'm totally fine with just moving these over by one. Sorry if you guys can hear that jet flying by. I live pretty close to a, I think it's a naval base, and there's quite a bit of overhead jet flights that happen. But I think if we move it this way by one, that should be good. So it's up by 3 over 1 2 3 4 5 7, just like that. Oh, all right. So I think that will do it. I want this one. So if we put that back, take that away. Okay, so yeah, I think that's at the same height. And if we extend this out, just like that. Perfect. So I think that's good. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to do that again on this side, you know, extend it out one more block just so it's an even square. That way I can get a nice circle going. But other than that, I think it's turning out pretty well. So I'm just going to keep going, and then I'll bring you guys back. Okay, guys, so I'm just headed back from getting some wool down over here at Addictive G's base. So, I mean, they're not rendering in, but as you can see, all these pins right there, there's a bunch of animals in there. So I've got 57 white wool. And you guys should totally go check out her video, because, I mean, this whole area had no grass in it. And there was like Mesa in here, so she dug out a lot and made this kind of like oasis area. It's really awesome. But I got the wool, and this is what I have so far. So I'm really liking how it's coming along, but I have a few little critiques. I'll tell you what the wool is for in a second. The first one is these legs are too skinny. I don't really like how skinny they are comparatively. I like the size of the water tower itself, the kind of barrel. I think it turned out really well. The red, you know, I think it works really well. Even though, you know, red is the color of the Mesa, I think it's high enough up that it sticks out in contrast with the sky. So I think it looks really good in that regard. I like the bands. Now those bands are just made using, dark oak fences. And it just wraps around the whole thing. And it kind of just looks like, you know, something's holding it together. But the part I don't really like I said, is these feet. I think they feel a little too small, like a little too thin for like holding up such a large structure. So I'm thinking what we can do really quick you know, is replace one of them really quick and just see how that works. So my thought was, the other thought of mine is that if I replace it, I won't have to do this sort of like bracket thing that I had to do to connect the fences up, because I can just go like this. You'll see when I go up there. So I'm just using the brown clay because I have a lot of it, and it's, you know, it's pretty close in color to the rest of the fences, so it shouldn't be that drastic of a change. So if I do something like this, throw it like that, and let's just see how this looks. So I think it should, oh, I guess my inventory is full. There we go. So hopefully it should look a lot better. Now I'm just gonna run around and kind of see if it fits a little bit better. I'm hoping it will. If not, I'll have to think of something else. Even that. The one thing I am noticing is maybe I built that down too far. So those are actually like next to each other, those blocks. And I'm wondering if they're like corner to corner, if they would look better. You know what I mean? Like, so these have like, they share like an edge. But if I took out one of them, you know, it would look like they will be less together, but it might look a little better. I'm not sure how I feel about that. The other thing, the other small little thing is maybe if I went something like that, and then maybe threw that on top. Let me see how this looks. I'm just trying to make it look like, you know, reinforced enough. And I think the reason this might work is because the thinner part, it like thins down. It's like another step, you know? So it's wide, and then it kind of goes in just a little bit, and then it goes in even more. So if I dig down here, let's see how this looks. I'm just gonna back off really quick and see how it looks. I think I like that a lot better, but I think it needs to be lower. So if I drop it down a few blocks, let's see how that looks. Because I think right now it's too high. So if we drop that down by 2, we'll say, cut this down by 2, and put all these down by 2. We'll see what this does to it. I think it should make it look better, because it's just a little too, yeah, the top part just wasn't long enough in that last little iteration. So if we go here, let's see how this looks. Hopefully it looks better. If not, I'll just come back. I'll tinker around with it a little bit more, and then I'll bring you guys back. I kind of really like that. Let me get a little further view. I might just have to do it on all 4 sides to get a good look, you know, a good feel for what it looks like. No, that's much better. Yeah, I like that much better, especially better than these. Alright. Let me just get a few angles. Yeah, I like that. Alright, so I think I'm going to do that for the rest of the corners. And now, I said I was going to explain what the wool was for. Now, I was thinking, like, initially, I'll have it all lit up and it'll be all nice. But then I was like, I don't really want it lit up because it's a water tower. I feel like water towers, especially in like the older era, like if it was made out of wood or something like that, like definitely would not have been lit up. So I don't really want it to light up during the night. So I was thinking on top, what I can do is get my beetroots, get my red dye, and then make some red carpet and just put it along the top. Because I think if we do that really quick, I think you make the carpet first. Something like this. No? Is this not how you do it? Let me guess. Next guess is you make it out of red wool. This is probably right if I had to guess. I don't know if that's the only way, but so if we grab this, I'll clean out my inventory in a second. You know, grab this, like that you can't even tell. Like that is like almost a perfect color match. I think that will work really well. So I'm definitely gonna work that out so that way nothing can spawn on the top of it, because I don't really want to be like ambushed in my own home. So if we just throw away some of this junk really quick, it should hopefully all work out. So guys, I'm just going to replace these other 3 pillars. Now this is the one thing I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna get up into it yet. It might just end up being something like this. The other thought I had was maybe like have like a pipe coming off of it, like looking as if there's a pipe, and just having a ladder on that pipe. But we'll see. So I'm just gonna replace these and then I'll bring you guys back. Alright guys, the sun is setting and rising. Sun is rising. And as you can see, I've added some of the finishing touches on, and I've added a few things. Now, again, you can't tell, but there is some carpet all along the top, so no monsters will be able to spawn up there. And if you look, I've added a sort of like what is it, support beams that go across it, along with the pipe. So I think the pipe looks really good. It really adds to the look. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about the support beams. I think they look good, but I still think there's something about the legs that I can't quite seem to get right. So, you know, if you guys have any ideas, please feel free to let me know. I'm open to ideas, but for right now, I think this is what we're gonna go with. Now, if you look up inside of here, the whole thing is pretty spacious. There's quite a bit of room in here. So I think it'll be plenty of room for a base. So we're just going to be building up here. And the first thing I have to do is move all the stuff from down here up here. So I'm just going to go do that and then I'll be right back. Okay guys, well I've finished moving everything up into here, as you can see. It's still super unorganized, but I'll get to that at a later point. But guys, I think that is it for the build for right now. Unfortunately, I do not have any more time to record today. But guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Now, stick around, because after this little outro, there will be a nice little pan shot on my camera account. Kind of just panning around it so you get a good view of it and maybe the area a little bit. So, stick around for that. But guys, I hope you liked the video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like. It really lets me know you like what I'm doing. Remember, if you have any suggestions on the like the little support pillars for the water tower, please leave them down in the comment section. I'm really looking for some ideas. But thank you guys so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.